You're paying for butter and getting a lab-built oil spread. Within the next minute, I'll show you the telltale label traps that make butter spreads look premium while skipping real dairy fat. We're talking vegetable oils, water, and flavor chemistry doing a butter cosplay. If you've got a senior in the family watching their heart, this isn't a small mistake. It's a daily hit of high saturated fats from palm oils, sneaky additives, and dash trust. Stay with me. We're naming the 8 worst offenders and the simple label check that saves your cart and your cholesterol. You see a logo you trust and a silky yellow swirl, but the fine print dodges a simple word: butter. That dance isn't an accident. Real butter has a legal line to cross, at least 80% milk fat. When it falls short, it isn't butter. It's a spread, and spreads get their body from water plus cheap vegetable oils, then borrow flavor tricks to act like the real thing on your toast. Let's start with what the front shouts versus what the back whispers. The front leans on dairy cues, farm fields, gold foil, churns, the word buttery. The back tells you what it really is. If the first ingredients are water and soybean or palm oil, you're not getting dairy fat. You're getting an emulsion. Think salad dressing taught to sit still in your fridge. Here's the sidestep in plain sight. Labels that say spread with olive oil or fresh buttery taste are not slips of language. Spread admits it fails the butter standard. With olive oil can mean a token splash added to a vat of other oils. Fresh buttery taste is code for flavor systems engineered to smell and taste like butter without being butter. The build is a simple formula. Plant oil, water, emulsifiers like mono and diglycerides or lecithin to keep that water and oil from breaking up. Color so it looks sun gold, not gray. Then natural flavor to sell your nose. It melts, it spreads, it browns in a pan, because structure can be fake. Milk fat cannot. Now line up a tub with no dairy against a stick of real butter. One has a short list: cream, maybe salt. The other reads like a recipe card from a test lab. And here's the price trick. The oil blend often sits close to butter on the shelf price, even though the inputs are cheaper. It feels like a deal because the pack looks premium. It isn't. You're paying near butter money for a watered oil emulsion. Familiar names make this easier to swallow. Big brands extend into spread lines that carry their reputation like a halo. The logo looks the same. The lid color matches. The word butter hovers nearby in a phrase, but the legal definition isn't met. That's the point. The name earns your trust while the fat source shifts behind the scenes. Here's what that means for your cart. Several popular items on national shelves check every one of these boxes. No real dairy fat leading. Plant oils doing the heavy lifting. Flavor riding shotgun. And they still skate around the butter standard. Not rare. Routine. So use one rule. If the front panel leans on spread, with, or fresh buttery taste, treat it as an engineered oil blend. Flip it. If cream isn't listed first, it's not butter. That quick check spares your budget and your stovetop from disappointment. Now let's move on to the fats hiding under those friendly labels. The ones that push saturated load while pretending to be country fresh. If it melts like butter, why does the label read like a lab sheet? Let's start with the build these tubs rely on. Water leads, then a stack of cheap oils, soybean, palm, or palm kernel, steps in to fake the body of butter. Emulsifiers hold the piece between oil and water so it doesn't split in your fridge. Color pushes that sunny yellow. Natural flavor adds the dairy note your nose expects, even when there's no cream in sight. Here's the tension. Palm kernel oil is loaded with saturated fat, not a little high. That's how it stays firm at room temp and gives a thick, whipped feel. Flavor systems handle the rest, laying down the warm, buttery smell on your toast without a drop of milk fat. It looks right. It spreads right. It reads like chemistry. Why palm and palm kernel? Price. They're cheap, stable, and easy to churn into a smooth, stand-up texture. Palm is semi-solid. Palm kernel is even harder, so brands can tweak the blend to hit that stick-to-the-knife body. It's plug-and-play fat engineering. Butter's structure comes from milk fat crystals. These tubs mimic that with tropical oils and air. Cardiology guidance is blunt on this point. Saturated fats raise LDL. Seniors feel that more. Age trends push cholesterol up on their own, and stacking tropical oils on a sandwich adds fuel. The advice is simple. Swap saturated fats for unsaturated ones to help the heart. Palm kernel flunks that swap. Now the extras that sell the illusion. Plant sterols and certain emulsifier mixes change how the spread breaks on the tongue. They can make oil feel cleaner or slower to melt. That shifts absorption speed and mouth feel, not the basic nutrition. You're still eating an oil blend tuned for texture. There's also the ghost of older formulas. Partially hydrogenated oils padded shelf life for years, then got pushed out because of trans fats. Most modern tubs ditch them, but the lesson sticks. Trace trans fats can lurk in legacy recipes or edge cases, and the risk hits the same place. LDL up, HDL down. That double whammy is the last thing a senior needs. Once you spot the pattern, you'll see it across the worst offenders. One tub with zero dairy, just water and oils. Another loaded with palm kernel high on the list. A third leaning hard on lab-built aroma to shout butter from the lid. Different labels, same playbook. So here's the mini payoff you can use cartside. If palm or palm kernel shows up in the first 3 ingredients, you're holding a high, saturated fat butter impersonator. It may brown in a pan and scent the kitchen, but it didn't come from a churn. But here's the kicker. Some of the biggest names run this exact move while pricing the tub just shy of real butter. Same shelf, same gold accents, same promise. The fat source is the swap, and your wallet pays extra for the costume. Which tubs look like butter but run on cheap oils? Let's start with the ground rules so you can spot them in seconds. The worst offenders have little to no dairy, palm or palm kernel high in the first few ingredients. Heavy-handed flavors to fake that warm butter note, and a price that creeps close to real butter even though the inputs are cheaper. That combo looks premium on the shelf and reads like a budget blend on the back. Here's the twist you probably felt coming. Several household names land on this list. The labels trade on reputation, while the formulas lean on low-cost fats and flavor chemistry. You aren't paying for cream. You're paying for a costume. Bluebonnet kicks it off. Zero dairy. Water plus soybean, palm, and palm kernel oils do the lifting while flavors paper over the gap. Palm kernel brings the stiff texture and a heavy saturated fat load. Add fillers like maltodextrin, and you've got a spread built to hold shape, not to nourish. I can't believe it's not butter and country crock run the classic spread play. Vegetable oil blends up front, palm and palm kernels setting the body, and engineered flavor rounding off the edges. The result melts and browns, but the taste is staged and the fat profile leans hard on tropical oils. That isn't an upgrade over a small pad of real butter. Land O'Lakes fresh buttery taste spread leans on a trusted badge. The word buttery sells the idea, but it doesn't meet butter's legal mark. You'll see soybean, palm, and palm kernel oils supported by emulsifiers to keep the mix stable. The logo says comfort. The panel says oil blend. Smart Balance Original sells health talk on the tub. Under the lid, it's still a vegetable oil spread with additives. Soybean, palm kernel, and canola give it structure, while plant sterols and emulsifiers fine-tune the mouthfeel. Any LDL nudge down comes with trade-offs, and the base is the same: processed oils, not cream. Imperial Vegetable Oil Spread keeps costs low by cutting the fat and padding with additives. It sits below classic margarine fat levels and leans on distilled monoglycerides to make oil and water play nice. Longtime users notice it underperforms in baking because it was never built like butter to begin with. Parquet Squeeze goes for convenience, and the squeeze bottle demands heavy processing to stay flowy. That means a longer ingredient deck, stabilizers, and flavors to keep it yellow, smooth, and scented like dairy. Easy to squirt, hard to call food. Kroger spreadable butter with olive oil and sea salt wears a health halo. The olive oil sounds smart, but the actual benefit is thin when the build still leans on blends and processing. The color and texture give away the compromise before the flavor does. Here's the mini payoff. The pattern is oil first, dairy last, or none. If cream isn't leading, you're not buying butter. So what is the simple cartside test that keeps your money and your heart rate steady? Let's start with the part you can use today. Real butter lists cream first, maybe salt. That's it. Spread, sell a story, then slide in cheap oils and flavor. Do the 10-second label test on your next run. If cream isn't first and the front says spread, put it back. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets. You might want to stick around because light butter sounds smart, but is often more water, more additives, worse taste. We'll pull that curtain next and show you how light turns into limp toast and a longer ingredient list.